If you're interested in learning 2 ways to fund your multi-unit deals, then you found the right video. Hey Daniel, cue in the intro please. Hey, what's going on friend? Juan Pablo here. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. On this channel, we like to discuss 3 primary topics: personal finance, funding, and real estate investing with the emphasis on multi-unit investing. So if you're new, make sure you click on that notification to subscribe to the channel, as well as to like the video, so that way Google, YouTube, the algorithm can do its thing and provide you with additional video content to help you along your journey towards becoming financially free. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the topic. So I'm going to talk about 2 things, short and sweet, about funding your multi-unit deals. Well, it's really short and sweet. It's really about 2 things, right? Either you're going to fund a deal with conventional financing or you're not. That's it. Conventional meaning you're going through a mortgage, right? Most people go that route, and I actually like that route as well, so there's nothing wrong with that route, where you can have a commercial mortgage lender provide 80% of the funding. Of course, it can vary based upon when you're investing, you know, the market and so forth. But typically, they'll give you about 80% of the money needed to acquire the property. And the latter 20%, you can get that from partners, you can get that from seller financing, you can get that from business credit. There's many different ways to fund that latter 20%. But ideally, the first way is conventional, where you have the mortgage lender covering about 80% of the financing. And I actually prefer that because, as I shared, you got the lender giving you 80% of the financing. Man, they're doing all the heavy lifting. And the only thing you have to focus on is just mustering up that minor 20% and some soft costs and closing costs, so that way you can get that deal closed. Now, I do have a video recommendation for you, so check the link below to learn more. Now, this video recommendation is about how to fund your deals, so that way you can become financially free. So I just thought I'd just add another video just to help you along your journey towards becoming financially free. Now, let's get into the second way. The second way of funding your deals is by not using conventional financing. So you might be scratching your head, well, that sounds like obvious, but what do you mean by that? What other type of financing are you referring to? Or not referring to, I should say. Well, it's this. You can acquire multi-unit deals without the big banks. How? Master lease options. How? You can do seller financing as well. Have the seller finance the whole shebang, right? I actually done both. Use seller financing as well as master lease options. And with the master lease, it's so great simply because there's no banks needed. There's no down payment required, no set amount. So when you go conventional, let's say you go to a mortgage company and they typically give you 80% of the financing and you have to bring up the latter 20%, you're pretty much set on that. Now you can be a little bit creative with 20%, but ideally they're just going to bring 80% and that's that. And they want you to have some skin in the game, meaning you bring some money to the down payment table. But if you're doing a master lease option with the seller, then it's fair game. Everything is up for negotiations. It's basically a conversation between you and the seller. And what you want to do is just make sure that you ascertain the seller's needs. Now the seller, if they're willing to entertain a master lease option, more than likely they're in some sort of jam or in a pickle, or they're in some type of financial situation in which they're motivated, a motivated seller, right? So you want to come in like Superman, and save the day with your strategy, right? So oftentimes a person who's open to doing a master lease option, they probably try selling the property, or they try refinancing the property, or they try just getting it off their books. However, they ran into some hardships simply because the property isn't profitable. So that's when you come into the rescue, where you take control of the property, make sure the property gets repaired, make sure it's in decent shape, and then once you get control, then you reap the rewards of your management style through the cash flow. And with the master lease option, you have a master lease over all units with an option to buy in the future. So you don't necessarily have to put down a 20% down payment or pay the seller a monthly fee or what have you. You just want to make sure you take control of the property and that it's performing. Of course, you want to make sure the bills get paid, because you have to be mindful that the seller still has the property owned under his or her personal name. So they still may have the mortgage under their name. They still may have the taxes under their name and insurance and so forth. So you want to make sure that the property is paying the bills. So that way the seller can rest assured to say, whew, well, at least I don't have to focus on paying those expenses, because this person I gave my master tenant, which I gave a master lease option agreement with, this person is actually managing the property on my behalf, right? So the owner still has ownership, but you still have control. But like John D. Rockefeller said, it's better to have control than over ownership. All right, so that's just one short and sweet tad bit I want to share with you about not going the conventional route to acquire a multi-unit. So with the master lease option, you're technically not owning it, as I shared, but you can own it in the future if you decide to exercise that option. But I just want to share with you that there's more than one way. There's more than one way to skin a cat. And actually, I have a video recommendation for you, and it's in regard to the first roadblock you might receive when you're starting to invest in real estate. So I definitely want you to take a look at that video. The link is in the description below. And speaking of link in description, if you're interested in learning more about real estate, how to use OPM, other people's money, to acquire multi-unit properties, whether in your backyard or more profitable markets, we have a free training for you, my friend, below. Just check the link in the description and we'll be happy to help you. As always, guys, this is to your success. Continue to earn passively, live passionately. Peace.